And what makes these pillows so special?
It's a patented fill. Now, here's one thing people don't realize. Sleep isn't about hardness or softness. Everybody wants soft, but you want it to stay there. You have cervical nerves in your neck and vertebral arteries. They need to be held straight at night. That's why a lot of people, that's why down pillows are so bad for you. You'll end up using your arm, getting these sleep interruptions, folding over your pillow, stacking pillows. Everybody's been there. With my pillow, you can adjust it. You adjust it to your height and it stays there. So you have the most, it actually solves the two things. And temperature is the other thing of sleep. You need height. You need to keep your neck straight. All your sleep is in your neck. Where you're keeping that straight. With sleep, your nervous system has to settle down. Let's say your nerves, whatever, that settles down. Then your blood slows. And then you'll go into sleep and you'll go into REM sleep, then delta, and these sleep cycles back and forth. If you break those cycles, just because you're spending time in bed, you need quality sleep. And that's what my pillow does. It's amazing. And we have different size loft levels, but then you adjust it from there. So I'm looking at you, you got pretty big shoulders. We have different levels. You'd probably be our second or third level up. And there's a thing right there on my pillow where you put it and ask you a few questions, and here's the right one for you. But you can adjust, and same way, if you're a back sleeper, side sleeper, or a stomach sleeper, you're not supposed to sleep on your stomach, but we have people that still do. And it's all about the thickness of that pillow. So you adjust it to that. If you go to your side, you need the most. It's the difference from your head to your bed. And there's a big science behind it. And it actually at one point, this is 20 years ago now, I had a guy come up to my booth and he goes, "Are you the guy that invented this pillow?" Because I have a 10-year warranty on it, right? And you can wash and dry it. And he goes, he was from a bedding company. And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "We tested this patented fill you have and it lasts 10 years. And he says, "You're never going to get a patent on this." He said, "They're going to shut it down and never," like the cars that got 200 miles a gallon. He said, the pillow industry, the average person has 6 pillows per person per household and none of them work. So it's a massive thing. In 10 years, everybody buys like 30 pillows. He was telling me this and he said, you got these monster companies. They got monopolies out there. They all start with S, and he's telling me this stuff. And I said, well, but what he said made me want to go out and get a patent. So I went and got a patent. And I'll tell all the entrepreneurs out there, one thing with your patent, you might not have, and our laws are getting changed back to where it will help the entrepreneur. But I will tell you this, by getting a patent, you can always make, even if it's a provisional patent, you can always make your own product. See, with mine, the fear was that they would go behind it, get the patent and stop me from making them whatsoever, and them not making it too. Because they didn't want, you realize now I've taken the pillows taken out of our landfills because I've sold 75 million. And you take out, if every person buys 30 in a 10-year period, and I've been around 20 years now, I mean, that's a lot of pillows that didn't get sold that were garbage pillows to the public. So it's any entrepreneur. Those patents are very valuable that they can't stop you from making. And they somewhat will work where you can fight it. I know there's been great stories where they've fought at these big giants and you've won in court and got, where they've tried to copy you and steal your invention. That's why we have mystore.com for entrepreneurs. You got anybody out there that's got products that are ready to go, you can go to mystore.com, get your product signed up. It's like I created it like a mini Amazon where you don't get your products copied by China or Google or Zuckerberg's Facebook ads go out there and you get overcharged.
Or Amazon directly.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine that had an Amazon store, said Bezos copied his product.
Oh yeah, they copied it. They copy it, and it's usually copied in China. And Bezos, he don't care. Jeff puts right. He could care less about the entrepreneur.
So how much money do you think you were cost by supporting Mr. Donald J?
Well, if they so when I first went all in on him, everybody. I didn't know anything about politics. I met him August 15, 2016, and I walked in there. It was just him and I, and he was all, here's a man, businessman. He asked me, he goes, Mike, you make your pillows here? He said, how's that working out? And I said, it's amazing. I love it. And he said, and I told him I was the next crackhead. They told me, don't tell him you were a crackhead. I said, I was a crackhead. And I kind of looked at him and said, I have the Lindell Recovery Network that's going to help addicts. He goes, and I'm going to stop the drugs pouring in. So when I left there, I went and asked his employees, I said, is this for real? He said, yeah, he's a great boss. And he had no agenda other than to help our country. And he asked me for my opinion. I couldn't believe it. Well, I went all in. And when I went all in, remember, if everyone remembers back then, I was attacked. I just did a press release. I was the media's darling. I was their favorite. Mike Lindell's walking across the street. How many more employees you hiring? The American dream on steroids, right? Here's an ex-crack addict, and he's got, 1,000 employees, and, it's the media's darling. All of a sudden, they turned on me like a rabid dog. They're going,
just because you like Trump.
And this is just because I had met him at that point. I did a press release saying I met him. Didn't even say what we talked about. They called me a racist. They called me just everything you could think of. Mike was a drug dealer. I never dealt a drug in my life. I tried to rid the state of Minnesota by drugs by doing them all, but they attacked me. And then the Better Business Bureau, the crooked Better Business Bureau came after me and for running my ads too long for specials to the people. And that was all political. They took my A+ to an F. And still an F, by the way, everybody. That's just fantastic, right? They attacked me. And that was in 2016 and into 17. But now this last year, and the attacks kept up pretty level for all those years. Didn't get too bad. They knew I wasn't going to change, right? In fact, they go to boycott me. Boycott Mike Lindell and My Pillow. And then on Twitter, the bots and trolls would say, don't boycott him. He'll double his ads. We see enough of that jerk. Because I didn't care. I'm going to put it out. And whether it was CNN or Fox, I advertised on both. I didn't care. My Pillow was separate. Well, then along comes this election, and I go all in when these people brought me evidence that 100% shows this was a cyber attack through the machines. We got to get rid of them. China was involved. All these things. I'm not going to change on that. Got it on January 9th of 2021. And I would expect anyone to speak up. It's for our country.
What proof did you see?
We have all the cyber proof, 32 terabytes of proof.
So how come no one's going to jail?
Because of the media will not let it out there. They just attack me. He doesn't have any evidence. Right now, you can go to Frank's speech.
I know, but why does it need to be on the media?
Well, right now we're bringing it to the courts. We started an injunction. We just did one in Arizona. It's to get rid of the machines. We're going to South Dakota next. I want to go to every state. We're going to also beat them in the courts, but I want everyone out there to know I'm not stopping on any level. You asked me before, I got $35 million into this fight. That's on the proactive side. And that's not counting with all the retailers that left, which was $70 to $80 million worth of retailers canceled me out. Because of what? Because I was saying, hey, here's the evidence, guys.
How much do you think that cost you?
Of that money?
Well, how much money has it cost you because you said, hey, look, we got evidence?
Oh, that right. Well, right away with the retailers, 80 million, 80 million in sales.
Do you regret it?
No, absolutely not. I'm still dime. To this day, I'm still fighting for it. I've got to get it out there. But I really believe, everybody, to give your audience some hope. Over a year ago, Donald Trump put in over 400 judges, including 3 Supreme Court judges. Now, back then, no judges ever looked at any of this evidence other than one judge in Antrim County, Michigan. And you know what they found? 7,000 votes flipped out of 15,000 in that county. That got just suppressed by the media. They called the liars. They called, this was an anomaly. It was a human error. They lied. The media, they were in on it and they suppressed it. But the judges were living in fear. How would you like to be the first judge? I know I got attacked. My family got attacked. My cousins got attacked. I mean, you name it. I got attacked by every force known to man. And when I came public on January 9th with that evidence right after January 6th, you think about that. So I just kept putting it out there and getting attacked every day. But now it's changed, everybody. The evidence is out there everywhere. You have these movies that came out, this Dinesh 2000 Meals, you have Rigged, you have all these stuff, all the evidence that came out of Maricopa audit, Wisconsin, all these things are out there. But you know what? Who's not reporting it? Your mainstream media, which is Fox, Newsmax, Salem Media. They don't tell you stuff like they do. And you wonder what is going on here. That's why we're going to beat them in the courts. And these are going to happen real fast. The injunctions are emergency injunction to get rid of the machines before this 2022 election. Now, anyone says, come on, Mike, that won't happen. Look at what one brave judge did in Florida. All it took was one judge to say, hey, these masks on these airplanes are ridiculous. Let's get rid of this. And it changed overnight the history of our country. Boom, it's over. No one's ever going to go back to it.